My final project for course EDPE 571 will be the economic impact of the new Detroit Red Wings arena. The purpose of this study was to discuss the actual economic impact the building of the new Detroit Red Wings hockey arena will bring to the city of Detroit. I've mentioned this in the discussion board and have come across a few different things that have popped up with this. For instance, the first discussion was who should pay for it? Should it be private funds or the actual people that the 700,000 residents that live in the city of Detroit? But to get started with the whole purpose of this was to look around at the actual impact, the economic impact that this would leave for the city of Detroit and its 700,000 residents. To really get into it, the first part was to look at past structures that have been built, sport or professional stadiums in the city. So over the last 15 years, Detroit has witnessed two new stadiums in the downtown area called the District of Detroit. The first was Comerica Park, the home of the Detroit Tigers, that was built in 2000, and then the Detroit Lions of the NFL, they opened Ford Field in 2002. Both Comerica Park and Ford Field were paid by private money, a combination of private money and public money, and then the naming rights actually, which was a little shocking considering the Red Wings haven't sold their naming rights yet. But Comerica Park or Comerica Bank, the name of Comerica Park, they bought the naming rights for $66 million over a 30-year lifespan. So that's pretty solid that it's going to stay in there. And then Ford Motor Company purchased the naming rights for their own building or for their own team, and that cost them $40 million for 20 years. The new Detroit Red Wings arena, which doesn't have a name yet, I'm sure it won't stay Red Wings Arena, is scheduled to open in 2017 for the 2018 or 2017-18 NHL season. The total cost for the arena alone is $450 million, plus an additional $200 million for the entertainment district, which covers a total, and some are estimating it's 45 city blocks, other 50 city blocks. But it's right next to Comerica Park and Ford Field. So what it's doing is opening up an entire sport district in downtown Detroit, which I imagine is going to make a big impact. So the total project cost is estimated at $650 million. $365.5 million will be private investment, mostly from naming rights and then from the Ilitch Holdings, which is the owner of the Red Wings and the Tigers. That's what they did when they built Comerica Park. He invested pretty much half of his own money that he brought up funded half the rights for Comerica Park and the building of that. So we're doing the same thing with the new Red Wings arena. And that leaves $284.5 million left for the public to invest in, which come out of the taxes and that kind of stuff. And that's all been approved now. That started 2 weeks ago, where they actually started to break ground, and they're a little behind schedule, but they're moving pretty fast to make up the ground. Now, to go into the economic impact. Economic impact refers to the net economic change in the income of the host residents that results from spending by visitors from outside the community. And I think the outside the community, that's the part that I'm really focusing on with this, because the Red Wings already play in downtown Detroit at Joe Louis Arena, which was built in 1979, and that has 20,000 seats in it. The new arena is only going to be in the ballpark of 18,000 seats, even though it'll be a larger one for other events. There'll be more practice area and that kind of stuff, and more VIP seating, sort of like what the Palace did. And we learned about that in our own readings. But so there's going to be more of those type of seats, like the suites and that kind of stuff. But the fact that there's already an arena downtown in the city of Detroit, and they're going to leave that for a new arena in downtown Detroit, just a new location. Granted, it's taking up more room. I believe that will make an effect on the actual economic impact. So I wanted to look at that because um, the actual number that was given out by the Illich Holdings is was they're determining the economic impact would be about 1.8 billion dollars to the city of Detroit, and I just believe that's a little high. I believe there will be an economic impact, but some of the samples I found that happened here in the city of Detroit that sort of helped me with the conclusion of my project on this was the Super Bowl back in 2006. The what was it, Super Bowl XL was hosted here in Detroit, and the NHL estimated that it would bring $300 million to Detroit. That's one event by itself, the Super Bowl. So following the Super Bowl, there was some studies that took place to see, what the actual economic impact was. And one of the studies showed that the economic impact was about $261 million. So it was about $39 million off. But when they looked deeper into that study, they found that when you actually remove the spending of the non-local businesses from the estimated results would be about 166 million, and from that number, only 104 million can be attributed to direct spending for the Super Bowl being there. The report also estimated that 20 to 25% of the spending could be removed from the estimate as spending that would have occurred had Detroit not hosted the Super Bowl. This put the actual number closer to 116 to 125 million dollars, and down to a possible number of 72 to 78 million for the direct spending. So the actual economic impact, the estimate from the NFL was 300 million, but the result of it, when you take away all the actual spending that still goes on in the city if the Super Bowl wasn't there or not, was about 72 million, between 72 and 78 million dollars. That's about a 75% drop in what, to get the Super Bowl here in the new Ford Field at the time. They were selling it. The NFL was selling it and saying it would be $300 million to the city of Detroit, and at the time that seemed really good because in 2008 there wasn't a lot of money in the city of Detroit at the time, so that seemed really nice. But to see the actual number, 75% off is a pretty drop. But so that really leads me to what could the actual number be, the economic impact be for a new arena for the Red Wings in downtown Detroit, in the district of Detroit, because it's already there. So they're not really adding that many more jobs. And I don't think the economic impact is so much from the actual arena, but from those 45 blocks around the arena that they're using for more jobs, for more entertainment, more theaters, that kind of stuff, more travel. And so when you take into the fact the 75% fall for the Super Bowl, for the money that was already being spent down here, you have to look at the actual draw to come to downtown Detroit for the people that wouldn't already come for those hockey games, because you can't take out on average the 50 home games with the postseason that the Wings already draw, because they've been in the postseason for 24 straight years. So they're already drawing people, and they lead the NHL in sellouts every year. Every game's a sellout there. So it doesn't. So that draw is already there. Those jobs are already there. So you can't eliminate that. You can't add that to the economic impact. So by doing that and going off of what happened with the Super Bowl here in Detroit and a few other studies that I found, I'm looking at the 1.8 billion impact that is very inflated, and there's been other studies that in other economics or other professors that have studied this, and they think that it's just very, very inflated. And from the studies that I've done in this project, I believe that it's more about a $450 million economic impact, a $500 million economic impact, which is still more than what the city is asking, what Illich Holdings is asking from the city on a public, to invest in. I mean, it's more than double that, or about double what the public's putting into it. So it's still going to make an economic impact, and it would be twice as much as what is already going there, what the Red Wings are already drawing. So I still think it's a good situation for the Wings, but I believe it's a prime example of the economic impact studies being inflated in order to get a sports facility or new arena or stadium built. Now, to conclude this, in my own words, I personally think Illich Holdings is doing a good job. They've put their numbers out on the table. I just think they're pretty accurate on the cost. They've done this before. They've worked with the Tigers and putting Comerica Park in there, and that was a big deal here because Tiger Stadium, for those who are familiar with Major League Baseball, that was one of the oldest stadiums around. I mean, that was up there with Fenway Park, and Wrigley Field as being just, it was a historic building here and this historic, field, and that used to be home to not just the Tigers but also the Lions used to play there. So I mean, there was a lot to it. So to tear that down and put a new ballpark up for the Tigers really meant a lot. So that for the public to have the trust in Illich Holdings, who Illich Holdings people aren't aware of, they're the owner of the Red Wings and the Tigers, and they own like Little Caesars. So but they're Detroit. They live in Detroit. They're from Detroit, so they're part of the community here. So to have them really leading the way on this means a lot, and the public actually trusts them because they're not leaving. So and they have the proven track record of really being a company that the public can trust. So I support them. I like how they've reached out to where I work, the University of Detroit Mercy, and we've already been approved. We're going to host we're going to be the host team for the 2018 NCAA men's basketball tournament. So that'll be there. That's already signed on and everything. So it's just the opportunity to get this arena built now. So I mean, it's already helping, and they did the same thing when Ford Field went up, when Comerica Park went up, on making investments into it already, because Ford Field hosted the Final Four. It's hosted a Super Bowl. Comerica Park has hosted All-Star games. It hosted the NHL, the winter, playing outside that they have over the Christmas break. So, it does bring more life to the state, to downtown when they do that. And then working with Dan Gilbert, who's bought over 75 buildings and structures downtown, the owner of Quicken Loans, who's from Detroit, is investing and has Quicken Loans moving to Detroit. So, there's a lot going on downtown. So, I mean, with all the combinations going on there, I mean, it could reach about $1 billion on the impact, but to be fair, about $500 million is personally what I think it'll do. But all in all, I mean, I really enjoyed learning about economic impact and being able to dig deeper into cases like this, which is happening right now, to see where those plans stand and what kind of economic impact they really could make, and how companies, even local ones like Illich Holdings, will somewhat inflate it just to make those numbers look better than what they are. I mean, but that's part of business, and they have to do that. I don't think it'll reach that high, but it's not going to hurt the city of Detroit. I think it's a big thing for the city of Detroit, where Joe Louis Arena and Cobo Hall are right on the riverfront. It'll open that up. I think Dan Gilbert will be interested in purchasing that land. Maybe that could end up being like a headquarters for Quicken Loans or something like that, or they can open that up for more riverfront view. So there's a lot more that can be made out of it. But currently, from moving one hockey arena from one location to another, and putting up some different areas of tourist events outside, I really think it'll pretty much just double where we're at now, or where the city is now. And that's my own words, but also after looking this and in studying what has happened with different events in downtown Detroit recently. So, but altogether, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. And congratulations for everyone on graduating. I think it's a big accomplishment that we've all that we're all receiving our master's degrees in this field, and I wish all you the best.